I'm gonna tell you that this is the most asinine morning of feeding that I have had in the 20 years that I have been feeding livestock. And if you don't want to hear it, that's okay. I'm saying it anyway, because at this point, that's the level that I'm at. So the last 2 or 3 days, it's actually been above freezing for at least part of the day, except yesterday was above freezing all day. So the 4 inches of snow that we had on top of the 2 inches of ice has finally melted, but then it just melted on the ice and then refroze. So now we have, I don't even know how many inches of ice. I come out here this morning and my Colt is always waiting for me at the gate. He's never experienced anything like ice, so he doesn't understand how to walk on it. And he is slipping everywhere, like all fours just going crazy. And I'm trying to tell him, you have to stay calm, stop moving, and you'll be fine. But then he's got ADHD and he sees the grain and says, you know what? I'm a teenager. I'm not even 2 yet. I'm gonna get that grain no matter what. So then we both go sliding down to his bucket there, and I'm holding on for dear life, and he just wants his grain. So at this point, I realized I forgot to put my wild rag on this morning. And the reason that I knew that is because my entire face refuses to move. It is absolutely frozen. Like my whole face is filled with Botox because the wind is blowing. It's blowing like it's coming straight from the North Pole. I've got to go get the older horses from there. And it's not really too bad because they're waiting for me at the gate until we have to go through this shit right here to get to that gate to go out. So these boys are old enough that they know that you have to walk gingerly. So they were actually walking as slow as I was. I held on to the pipe fence until we get to the point that I can't hold on anymore. So I grabbed Jack's neck and we just kind of shuffle across the ice until we get to the gate. Well, Jack gets a little bit excited whenever he gets to the gate because he knows that he gets to go to the hay out there. And Jack's been on the farm the longest, so he really enjoys telling the sheep that he's boss. So when I pop the gate open, I hold on to it. He gets a little too excited. He slips, which makes me slip. I lose control of the gate, and I can't get there because, again, remember, we're shuffling. Their chance. So as they're trying to do their own sheep shuffle past me, what do you think's happening across this piece of ice right here? Yeah, absolutely. They're running across and they're going down like bowling pins, knocking each other out. There's only one other time that I have used that many curse words in a short amount of time. So yeah, I finally get them out and it's just a cluster, as you can imagine. I go out, I'm like, I've got to feed the heifers and the old cows. So go out to feed the heifers. Well, the heifers are very excited. They get really spunky during this weather. And of course, they're fighting to say, hey, what? I get to eat the first little bite of hay. And as I come around the hay bale, I didn't know she was there. She didn't know I was coming around. So when I go to cut the net wrap off, we surprise each other. She slips, I slip. And if any of you have been to any of my presentations, you know that there was a time when I found myself underneath a heifer trying to take my life. So I had a little PTSD. So at this point, the cows think that I have just broke out in prayer because I then just yelled, "Sweet Mary, Mother and Joseph." Now let me tell you, my husband thinks it's his job to tell me that multitasking does not work. It's not efficient. And then I always tell him, that's how women get things done. We have to multitask. So I decide this morning, I'm gonna put my under eye gels on. I did let them dry for a little bit before I came out here, but as I'm coming out of the barn, you know, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this day already and just started. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna rip these suckers off. I'm done with it. And I'm not sure what it was pulling off of my face. I hope it was just the facial hair because, you know, I have that because I'm going through menopause right now. So obviously they're froze to my face. So I'm gonna have to go in and I guess use the hair dryer to get these sumbitches off. But yeah, okay, Cowboy Greg, it didn't work out for me today. So now, as we're gonna go up the driveway, we're gonna be fishtailing it all the way because it is a solid sheet of ice and I gotta do whatever I gotta do to get up the hill to my house. So, I don't know what to do the rest of the day. Do I just like binge Netflix and forget about it and start over tomorrow? I don't know. So, you know, with all my videos, I gotta have some kind of lesson in here. 2 positive things came out of this. It was 55 degrees yesterday, and it melted the ice enough that I didn't have to break ice this morning, so that's good. And nobody fell. Except the sheep.